Did you know that getting pre-approved before house hunting can save you time, money, and stress? Today, we're going to dive into the power of the pre-approval and why it's the most important step in buying a home. In today's episode, we're going to break down the pre-approval process, the common mistakes buyers make, and how to leverage a pre-approval to win in a competitive market. Joining us today is the expert, the man, the myth, the legend. Look, I'm psyched. I finally got this dude on the podcast. My man, Mr. Lloyd Bromfield.
Hello, 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 hello.
Good
Good morning,
morning.
morning, morning. How you doing?
Good, brother. How you doing, man? Good to see you. You are you always on the go, man. You're a hard man to keep up with. So,
No, man, you gotta stay active, but it's good, man. Thanks for having me.
nah, no
Appreciate it.
doubt. I tell this story all the time, and I realize I gotta slow down while telling this story. One of our first transactions, um we did, I'm out in the streets on like a Saturday trying to write offers and do showings, and I'm like, yo, I need a pre-approval, and I called you, and I'm like, there's like a lot of noise in the background, bro, where you at? He's like, oh, I'm in a swimming pool in Mexico. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Yo, you don't have to write the pre-approval, man. Just, hit me with nah. He's like, yo, I got this, bro. Don't worry about it. Sent me the pre-approval and we put the offer in, man.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
tell that story all the time, but I realize people expect you to be there all the time. So I'm like,
All,
I'll
all
lay
the
back with
time, all
this
the
story.
time. No, man. I mean, that's just the way it is, man. I'm
Nah,
here to to lend that support. So it's difficult sometimes, but you got to do what you have to do. People are looking at homes that it's not going to be the most convenient time for you. So you just got to make sure you're available. But that's what I try to
nah.
do.
I appreciate the fact that you're always available for me and my clients, our clients. Um, and Nah, it's awesome working with you. So, real quick, welcome to the First Time Home Buyer podcast, where we make home buying accessible and simple, right? I'm your host, Jerard Gibson, with the Gibson team at Coldwell Banker. If you are thinking about purchasing a home and you want to sit down and chop it up, have a 30-minute consultation, I'm going to put the link to my calendar in the chat. You can click that link, book a 30-minute consultation with me or somebody from my team. Also, don't forget to check out the Home Buyers Hub. The hub, I'm calling it. It's just going to be the hub from now on. I just put the link to the Facebook group, the Home Buyers Hub. We're going to be uploading exclusive content strictly for the Home Buyers Hub, as well as like home buying seminars, things like that we're working on. So you're going to want to be a member of the hub if you're thinking about purchasing a home and you are, looking for information. Also, my man Lloyd, I got a link to Lloyd's contact information on my website on the gibsonteamct.com slash financing one. You could click on that link right there if you want access to Lloyd. All you got to do is fill out the form. It goes straight to him, and he'll reach out to you. I told you, even if he's in a swimming pool in Mexico, he's gonna hit you back. I promise you. Also on the gibsonteamct.com, you can also search for properties there. It's a safe space to search for properties. A lot of these other, I'm not going to name any names, we'll say popular third party sites, uh, they tend to sell your information to other agents. You could search comfortably on the gibsonteamct.com, and you don't have to worry about nobody selling your information. Only person that can see is me and my team and Lloyd, right? So any questions you may have, you can reach out to us directly. So I'm excited to have you here. We've been working together for some years. How long have you been in the game, Lloyd?
Oh, man, you're aging me right now. Let's see. Yeah, I actually started in the mortgage business in, believe it or not, in 2002.
In 2002? Okay. Yeah.
2002, yeah, yeah. I've
And
been in this now 23 years.
so what drew you to the mortgage business? Why mortgages?
Um, Interesting enough. I actually went to school for computer graphics. I was working at Sikorsky. I ended up getting laid off. I just bought my first home right
Mhm.
before I got laid off, and then the loan officer that helped me get my home, he was like, "Well, you're just sitting around, you're not working, you're not doing anything. Why don't you just come try doing mortgages?" I was like, "I'm a graphic designer. I'm not doing mortgages."
That's
So, after some convincing, I was like, "All right, listen, man, I just try it for a second." So
oh yeah.
I got my first client, and it wasn't so much about the numbers. It was more about like you were actually like helping a family,
Mhm.
helping people. And then, once you kind of tapped into that, and I felt like, I had that was just natural for me to be helpful, and I was able to help structure deals, and I was just became like kind of passionate about it. So
Mhm.
one thing led to another. I was in it for 3 months, 6 months. The next thing I look around, I'm 5 years in, and I'm 10 years in, and then here we are today.
And it don't stop, man. And a
Right,
love it.
right, right. Yeah,
Nah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
definitely. In working with you, I definitely, uh, I see your passion for helping, and also your knowledge and understanding. The way you navigate through tricky transactions is crazy. Every transaction I learn something new, man.
yeah.
But I when I started out, I was in the same space. I wanted to help, you know what I mean? But I
Hmm.
really didn't know how to help. But it was easy. I don't want to say easy, but um, it was easy to help renters at the time. You know what I mean? So, but then I just started asking the question of, hey, have you ever thought about buying? Right? And then from
Okay.
there, I had to figure out, how do I get these people the money to buy? How do I help them get the money? So I got drawn to the money, um and trying to figure out the different loan programs and all of that stuff. So
Hmm.
when we have those conversations, like, that's why I'm always locked in when you're talking about the money, because I feel like I need to know too, so I could better help my people. But you definitely
Right.
taught me a lot as far as the different programs and how to navigate stuff. You still do some stuff that I can't figure out how you did it, but anyways, we'll we'll, we'll let you keep that. But all right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a pre-approval, and why is it important?
So a pre-approval is basically the basis on what you can afford, right? So
Mhm.
when you're looking to buy a home, you don't want to go out shopping if you can't afford what it is that you're looking at. So the pre-approval is vital because you have to know how much you qualify for, what
Mhm.
is available to you, what the monthly payments are going to be, how much money you're going to need for closing, what programs are available to you. So that's all in the pre-approval process. So you definitely want to start with the pre-approval first, because that's the basis of everything. Because as you know, most agents aren't gonna take a borrower out if they don't have a pre-approval, because
Mhm.
you're kind of just you're moving around in the dark. You don't know what your buying power or what you're even qualified for.
Right. Right. And I tell clients all the time, listen, I can show you whatever you want, but if I show you something and you fall in love with it and then you find out that you can't get it, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right,
it's
right,
nobody wants to go through that. So it's I definitely understand the importance of it. Um what is the so all right, we hear this a lot too, the pre-approval versus a pre-qualification.
right, right.
What's the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification?
So on the surface level, the main difference is, one is you're verifying information, one you're not. So obviously the pre-qual is basically somebody can tell you that they make $100,000 a year. Um, Everything is great. You pull their credit, you haven't received any income docs yet. So you say, okay, based on what you told me, it looks like you should be able to qualify for this. That's mainly a pre-qual.
Hmm.
Pre-approval is verifying everything. So you're going to look at pay stubs, you're going to look at employment history, you're going to analyze everything in depth to verify the information on the application, and that completes the pre-approval. So that's those are the main differences between pre-qual and pre-approval. But we see that a lot of times, depending on the bank or the broker that you're with, it could be treated differently.
Right. And is there a difference between a soft pull and a hard pull?
Yeah, definitely. So a soft pull is basically it does not create an inquiry on your credit report,
Hmm.
but it gives us an idea of where your credit scores are. But in order for us to move forward with a pre-approval, we would need to do a hard pull. But the
Mm-hmm.
soft pull is something that a lot of people are concerned about, especially if you don't want your credit pulled repeatedly.
Hmm.
If you're shopping around, if it all depends
Do,
what you're looking to do. But
does the soft pull show you everything? Like, you know what I mean? Like, will you
no,
get
no,
to?
it
Okay.
it, it doesn't for the most part. So the
Okay.
soft pull gives you an idea of where the person is, but it
Hmm.
doesn't give you the full details of what's on the credit report because we pull credit all the time, and sometimes when you pull a soft pull, you may get, let's say the person has 10 liabilities on their credit report, you may
Hmm.
only get six, but then when you do the hard pull, the other four pop in, and then now you get the full picture. So the soft pull is just almost like a prequel. It gives you an idea of where you could be going because it's not like you're going to do a soft pull and a person has a 700 credit score, and then you do a hard pull and their credit score is a 520.
Right.
You
Right.
know, it usually falls right in line. So if the soft pull is a pretty good score, it's almost determined that yes, the person has good credit. So now if they do want to move forward, you do the
You
hard
do
pull
hard
and then you
pull.
could complete the application. Yeah.
Got you. Got you. So, and I kind of jumped the gun on that. It popped in my head, so I had to
Yeah.
ask the question. But
I know, man. They all lead into each other. It's hard to kind of structure it without kind of popping that in there. But
right. Um. So, all right. Understanding. Okay, you have to get your credit pulled. What
Mhm.
walk us through the process. Like, so what does a buyer need in order to get pre-approved?
All right, so the process is really simple, and I say this time and time again because I like to keep it simple. The process is really just once you have a qualifying credit score, which is our minimum credit score is a 500.
Hmm.
Obviously, you would want to have your credit score higher than 500, but we do offer financing options at 500. So it begins with the credit score,
Hmm.
right? The main thing is once you're credit qualified, then we move on to the income. How
Hmm.
much income do you make? That will determine how much house you can buy.
Hmm.
And then once we get past the income, then we look at your assets. Okay, how are you going to buy this house? Do you have the down payment? Do you have enough in funds? Can you qualify for down payment assistance? So
Hmm.
that's the process there. So we start off with first when they submit an application, we look at their credit.
Hmm.
Then we analyze their income to see how much they can afford, and then we look at how much down payment or whatever type of assistance they may need. Or if they don't, they don't qualify or they don't need the assistance, then we look at how much assets they have to based on the house that they're looking to buy.
Right. So, and so real quick, shout out to everybody that is watching live on YouTube and Facebook. If you have any questions, you can put them on YouTube. Here, let me see. One second. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can log on to my Facebook and see if there's any questions up there. For whatever reason, the software won't be. Good morning, Gloria. Good morning, GP. Thanks for checking in. Good morning, everybody. So, um, yeah, if you have any questions, you can ask Lloyd questions live. Um, definitely on YouTube. I'm watching it on my Facebook, so we're good. All right. Now so that's the process. But what paperwork should I readily have available in the process of applying? Like, what do I need to bring to the table?
And so paperwork wise, like I said, I keep it very simple at the beginning.
Hmm.
The paperwork that you would need is just like your most recent pay stubs for the last 30 days. That will
Hmm.
give us an idea of how much income you're projected to make for that year or how much income you have made for the year, depending on when you're applying. We also need, usually depending on the income type, which is, let's say, a W-2, someone that works a W-2 job, we would need the W-2s for the past 2 years to confirm that you indeed have been working for the past 2 years.
Hmm. Okay.
You're not required to have a 2 year employment history if you're just coming out of school and things of that nature. So what I like to do is I don't even like to get into the documentation when I first have the person applying. I just generally have a conversation with them that will give me an idea of where they are. And then based on their application, I will request the documentation needed. But overall, the main set of documents that you would need would be pay stubs and W-2s for the past 2 years. If you're self-employed, it would be tax returns for the past 2 years. But we have programs that don't necessarily require that documentation. So depending on what the situation is, we can always try to modify that documentation based on your circumstances.
Nice. Okay. So we're talking about all of the good stuff. So we understand, there is a process, people. So we got to understand there's a process. Number one.
Hmm.
Number two, the first step is to do a credit pull. The second step is to check the income, right? Which means you're going to have the documents of the W 2, pay stubs, bank statements, right? That stuff readily available, right? And then from there, you determine how much a person can qualify for it, if they qualify, and how much they qualify for it. Correct?
Hmm.
All right.
Right.
So that sounds easy enough, but what are some common mistakes that buyers make during this pre-approval process? What are some things that you see, some things not to do?
Well, I would say that the main mistake that borrowers make is not applying, because a lot of times people will think that they will read on the internet or they'll see a video and they'll think, okay, you know what, I'm not ready yet,
Right,
right? And then they will start to do things on their own that they feel will get them in a better position
right,
to qualify for a mortgage, when in theory it's not, right?
right.
So it's usually the biggest mistake that I see is not applying early enough to understand where you are so that you can take the proper steps. But, for someone that has applied, the common mistakes I see are usually, just either starting off full time on the application and then you go down to part time and you didn't tell us,
Changing job history. Yeah.
changing job history, things of
Right,
that nature,
right.
or life situations come up. You may have submitted the application and you had 20,000 in assets, and you had to spend some of the money, but you didn't let us know. And then we find
Hmm.
a house and you're like, oh well, I have to spend money on this, so now it kind of like changed things. But
Right.
those are very rare occurrences. But I think the main thing for me is that a lot of people are shy to
Mm,
or afraid of the rejection of unqualified. They don't want to hear I'm unqualified. It's almost
right.
like they don't even want to start, because unless I put myself in a better situation, feel like I'm qualified. But I
Mm,
tell everyone, apply. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? At least we can start to work towards it, as opposed to you assuming that well what the issue is.
right. And that's a powerful statement, and I'm glad you said that. That was honestly my claim to fame. Starting out again was educating people. Most people think that you need a 800 credit score and 25% down to purchase a home.
Hmm.
And when
Right.
I was dealing with a lot of people that were looking for apartments, and I started out looking for apartments, and I asked the question, and even I tell my agents, ask the question, have you ever thought about buying? And they'll tell you,
Mhm.
yeah, but I'm not in a position. All right, what's that position look like where do you think you need to
Yeah.
be? You know what I mean? Like, where do you think
And
you need to be?
who have you met that's in that position right
Position.
now? Because we would like to definitely talk to them as well, because I want to see what they went through.
Right. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, do you realize that you could get it with a 580 credit score or 620 credit score? Like, you don't necessarily need a 7 or 800, but Of
Right,
course,
right,
the higher the credit score, the better the situation you can put yourself in,
right.
right? But if you're getting ready to make a move into putting, because you need in here, you need what, 3 months security, or 3 months, 2 months security, first month's rent. You need 3 months in total to move in,
Mm,
right? So,
right, right.
that's almost $10,000 right there, right? And a lot of the
Yeah.
landlords, yeah, a lot of the landlords aren't accepting, they want good credit scores, whatever that means to
Hmm.
them. You know what I mean? So
Right, right,
if you have the credit score and you have the money, have you thought about buying is the thing. And I'm not telling you you have to, but I think you should at
right,
least consider it, and get the information so that you can make the best decision. And not to keep talking, but the statement you made of people just not applying, even if you're not ready, when you apply, one thing I like about working with you is you don't just say no. Like,
hmm,
you don't just turn a buyer down, like, yeah, now you can't get a house. Um, I'll call you later or whatever.
right.
It's there's usually a game plan and a strategy that follows that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to the
Hmm.
point where, and then you follow up as well. You
Yeah.
know,
I,
there
I mean, I learned that from my the it's crazy because I learned that from the first deal that I ever did back in 2002.
Mhm.
When I submitted their paperwork, the loan was suspended,
Mm.
right? Couldn't sleep for like 3 or 4 days. This family was counting on me,
Yeah, yeah.
and I realized that when it comes to a mortgage application, yes, there's denials and things like that, but for the most part, 99% of the issues on an application can be worked out with proper structure. So as
Right.
you start to go through the process, you realize, like, hey, listen, your credit score may be low now, but listen, we start doing these things in the next month, 2 months, your credit score is going to be higher.
Mm.
If you're not making enough income, okay, no problem. Maybe we get a co-borrower, or maybe you get a new job. Let's
Mhm.
let's work this thing out to see what are the options that we can take, because as long as we're working together and you're working towards something and you're keeping someone motivated, they have a chance.
Right.
And it's not final. You have to feel as if, like, there is the chance that you can get something, or else, people coming to you, it's not going to work out. You gotta help these people out. And
Right.
a lot of times the knowledge that we have of the industry, you can't always instill that in someone, but when they're coming to you, you craft their situation just for them, and then
Mhm.
you can work out a pretty good deal for them. And then they don't necessarily have to know all of the ins and outs of the mortgage business, but they're coming
Mhm.
to you as a trusted advisor, so you have to give the best that you can, and that's what I try to do on every deal.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong. The guidelines to these different mortgage programs are, they're guidelines. Each program has its own guideline, right?
Right.
The goal is to try to get a client, or see if a client can fit into any one of these guidelines, any one of these programs, right? And I'm saying this to
you, you
say,
yeah,
okay.
yep. Yeah,
So
no, go ahead.
I'm saying this to say, I noticed that a lot of people will look at the next person and say, well, this person got into this program, I want to get into this program. But
Right.
sometimes the reality is, you don't have the same credit score, you don't have the same income, you don't have the same. Everybody's different. You know what I mean? Everybody's
Everybody's
different,
different.
and
Yeah.
everybody's path is going to be different. The programs are
Hmm.
available, but if you want to fit in this program, then you have to do what's necessary to fit in the program. Would you agree with that?
Definitely,
Okay.
definitely. And that's one of the other common things too, is that, oh, my coworker said they got this,
Right.
but your coworker never shared with you the entire application or what they went through. So, and you and your coworker are two different people, so it's
Right.
not always going to be like, you're not always going to get the same thing. You may get something similar,
Similar.
but it's not always going to be exactly the same thing. And yeah, you definitely go through that quite often.
Hmm.
with different borrowers. But it's all a part of the process. But everyone has to kind of go through their own pre-approval process, and
process.
and figure out what they're qualified for.
You got go through your own journey, man. Write your own story.
And write your
Write
own
your own
story,
story.
man.
That's what it is. So we talked about um, different programs requiring uh, different employment types. What about
Mhm.
self-employed or someone who has like a variable income? What advice do you have for those types of buyers?
Go to apply with Lloyd.com. Just apply. You know, uh, I think self-employed is, we have a ton of programs for self-employed borrowers, because what ends up happening is that sometimes, on your tax returns, it may not show the true income that you're making, because you don't want to necessarily disclose all of your income on a tax return, because then you may pay a large amount in taxes. But for the most part, with the conforming and FHA loan programs, we're going to look at the last 2 years of your tax returns. However, we do offer other programs depending on the down payment, where you don't necessarily have to show tax returns. We can use we can use the deposits that you make into your bank statement.
Mhm,
We can even use your profit and loss statement as your income. So there are different options for self-employed borrowers, for borrowers that are variable income. So this is someone that necessarily doesn't work a set amount of hours each week. So, they can work 40 hours this week, they can work 36 hours next week, it
mhm,
could be 18 hours a week after that.
mhm,
With that income, what we do is we have to average that income. So what we do is we say, okay, most people in that type of space, they have been doing that type of fluctuating schedule on a weekly basis for a while now, right?
mhm,
So what we do is we look at, okay, if you've been doing this for the past 2 years and you work 40 hours, 30 hours here, we're just going to take an average, because if you've done it in the past, our assumption is that, okay, if you've done it for the past 2 years and you
mhm,
made X amount, we assume that moving forward, you're going to
you
make X amount.
you're
So
gonna
what we do is
continue.
we just average, yeah, you're going to continue. So we just average that, and the minimum amount of time that we can average that would be for 12 months. So
Okay.
if you at least have that position for 12 months, then you're good to go. Even if you're variable and you don't have the 12-month history, what we have options for you as well, to where you can then maybe try to go into a fixed hour position, if your employer will allow you to do that, to then go, instead of your hours fluctuating every week. Now the employer says, okay, you're guaranteed 40 hours a week.
Mhm,
Now we can use your hourly rate times that 40 hours moving forward, as long as the
mhm.
pay stubs match.
Right. Right. Okay. So there is life for self-employed buyers. That's that's what I wanted to get at.
Self-employed bars, just go to apply with Lloyd.com.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. Just go to apply with Lloyd.com. Give me a call. We could work out something for you.
So I put the link to Lloyd in the chat. Um I don't know if it's on Facebook. It's definitely on YouTube, but I'll definitely share it after this video. But the link is there. Click on the link, fill out the contact info, and he'll get right to you. Also, you hit the apply now button if you're ready to apply. But if you want a consultation before you actually hit that apply button, just fill out the info. He'll get right to you. All right. Now let's get into there are we just talked about there being different programs. And
Mhm.
a lot of buyers, especially in this market and climate, are worried about affordability. What special programs are available to help, those buyers with affordability, down payment assistance programs, etc.
Yeah, so I mean, there's quite a few different down payment assistance programs that will cover the down payment, the closing costs. All of these programs, like I said, it is based on what you are qualified for. So it's
Mhm,
not like, even though the program says that, like, for instance, we have a CHFA program that will give the borrower 25,000 to cover their down payment and closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
You also have another CHFA program that will give you up to 15,000 to cover down payment and closing costs.
Mm.
However, depending on what you're qualified for, it's not as if you get the 25,000 automatically just because you're in the program. It's all based on what you're qualified for. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to qualify for, let's say, $100,000 mortgage and you're going to get 25,000 because there's not enough down payment and closing costs to cover that. So you would still have to just apply, but there are programs out there that are going to help you with down payment assistance. It really comes down to what it is that you're
What
qualified
you're gonna
for.
qualify
But
for.
there's tons of help out here if you're looking to buy. But like I said again, there are pros and cons to that.
Mm-hmm.
So with down payment assistance, you're going to be limited with your buying power, right? So if you're someone that can qualify for a $200,000 house, if you were to come in with your own down payment, if
Mm-hmm.
you're getting down payment assistance, you may only qualify for a $130,000 house at that point. You're not going to qualify for the same amount getting the down payment assistance because they limit you
Mm-hmm.
with with what you can qualify for. So, but there are tons of programs out here that can help you.
So I get what you're saying. It's not just one size fits all. It's not okay. I qualified for this, so now I could just add the down pay. You can't just add the down payment assistance. It's like,
Right,
yeah, it's a different program that you actually have to qualify for as well. And I
yep,
also noticed that um, a lot of different, there's down payment assistance programs everywhere. A lot of different
right,
towns
right,
have their own
right,
down payment assistance programs. Um, and, different banks or whatever. There's down payment assistance programs everywhere. You just got to make sure you qualify for them. All right, so
right.
let's have a little fun here. I started laughing. I'm looking at my script. We're gonna have a little fun here, Lloyd. What
Hmm.
what is a mortgage war story? Like what was like one of your what was like one of your craziest transactions? No names, but what was some things that you've been through that might have been teachable moments? How about that? That was a teachable moment for you.
No, I would go
I
back
could
to my
probably
first
name about
deal.
4 of them right now, but
No, no, my most teachable moment was actually my first deal because
mm,
when I started, emailing and faxing and all of that, it wasn't as easy as it is today.
right.
So think about it like this: I was working in New Haven. The clients I was working with were in Bridgeport. This
Mm,
was like a Asian family. Um, they didn't really have the means to fax it, so I would have to drive from New Haven to Bridgeport to get documents every
mm,
time. And every time that I went there, yeah, I had a full spread. I mean, they were cooking, and everything was all laid out. So
yeah,
when the loan got suspended, I didn't even go down there and face these people. I'm like, listen,
yeah.
this is, but but it was a situation where it was just the war story was basically, listen, I was in my car pretty much. And when conditions are needed, you're going to pick up. If I have bank statements, if I have this, if I have that, I'm
Right.
driving down to pick them up and come back up. But overall, we ended up closing the deal. But
Nice.
that was one of those times where it was,
You had to go through it a
email
little
and a
bit.
fax was. I was driving back to Bridgeport 2, 3 times a day.
Oh man.
It was rough, but
Yeah.
we got through it. But that was one of the the starts of the process. That was probably one of the more memorable ones that I
Yeah.
could think about. But I
But
know I
but
know I know we've been through some battles though.
yeah, 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 for sure, man. And okay, so follow up, like what was one of your most memorable moments? Like, what was one of the things you felt real good about after? I mean, all the transactions you feel good about, but there's one that sticks out.
I think one of the more memorable ones was one of our recent transactions to where I can't remember her name now, but she she was looking to sell her home. We were under like a lot of pressure because she had to sell, and then we had to buy. We had to make sure that the purchase was cleared, I know that she was using the money from her sale to purchase the new property, and then she was also buying with her parents. So this was like
Mhm.
a whole dynamic of like, listen, you got to keep this entire household together. You
Together.
know what I mean?
Right.
So that was an enjoyable one because we were able to get everything done, relieve the stress of her parents, relieve her stress.
Stress. Right.
It was just kind of nice to kind of see everything come together. We
Mm.
got her, the great rates, the down payment, everything just kind of like fell into
Just
place
lined up,
once we had
bro.
structured it.
All
Yeah, yeah.
really
Once
lined up.
everything got, yeah. So that was, and that was just relief because you really get in tune with these people once you're in the process. You become almost like you're in somewhat of a relationship because you're talking every day. If you don't hear from them during the day, it's like, oh, what happened? What's
What
going on? What's
happened? What's
happening with my
going on?
loan?
Yeah, for
And
sure.
then once you close, now it's like you broke up. It's like, oh my God, what happened? I don't
Well,
hear from you every day anymore.
well, no, this
So
this this particular client still stays in touch, and she owes us
yeah.
cigars. We're supposed to go to. No,
Yeah.
actually, I owe her a cigar. Actually, she got me a cigar, but we're supposed to go to Cigar Lounge and chill out, man. But yeah, nah, I know exactly which one you're talking about. That was super. That was definitely a memorable moment, and yeah, nah, we stuck together and we pulled that one off. It was. I was gonna say it was simple, but no, it wasn't. It was very, very complex on a lot
The
of different.
numbers were simple, but
Right.
the managing of expectations
Patient, yeah.
and emotions, and
Right.
it's a lot more than just numbers.
Yeah, but we definitely pulled that off, and we got that family into their new house, the beautiful
Definitely.
house. Oh my
Yeah.
God, the house! So I post everything on my Facebook, and I still get a lot of people asking, "Where was that house at?" That house
Yeah.
is beautiful. That house is beautiful,
Yeah, they
man.
got
So
that. Yeah, it's a very nice house.
so
It's a
the
very
fight
nice
the fight
house.
was definitely well worth it. So
Oh yeah,
look,
yeah, yeah.
with the in my first time home buyer course, the first step to this process is your mindset. Like you really got to have a mindset um to go through this, and it's like, and I'm not trying to scare anybody, you know what I mean, like, because we
Hmm.
do have some transactions where it's quiet, like you don't hear anything, they just go smooth, those layups as you call them. Every once in a while you get some layups, but for the most part if you've never been through it before, there's some things that you can encounter that uh could be stressful. You know what I mean? But
Right,
the cool thing is having a team of people around you that's knowledgeable, that's gonna help you navigate. You know what I mean? And
right.
and, e- and even when I notice when we run into hiccups, we fight until we can't fight no more. Yeah, like, you know what I'm
Would
saying? We gonna fight until
would.
we can't fight no more. We just gonna keep pushing
Yeah.
until we can't, and we find a way. We definitely find a way.
And the flip side of that is when you get a situation like one that we closed recently as well, is where you pretty much structure everything during the pre-approval process for the client so that once you get to contract, you have a very smooth transaction.
Transaction,
And
yes, sir.
that's where the beauty of it ends up happening, is when when these clients trust you to go through the process, and you kind of bring them through this whole thing, and it's a smooth transaction, and everything that you've kind of laid out for them ended up playing out exactly how we stated it. That those are the beautiful moments that makes the job rewarding, because now you know that, hey, listen, this is, we did this all for you guys to
Mhm.
make it as easy and enjoyable as possible. But even if you run into hiccups, we always try to figure out, but everything usually starts before we get into the trenches.
Right, definitely. So we almost running out of time. Let's see if there's any questions, any Q&A. Let me check the chat and see if anybody got anything. But I definitely appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna put the link in the chat one more time. If you want to access Lloyd, also his cell phone number. That's I shouldn't say that nationally, but let's say he's easy to reach. I don't want to put his cell phone number out
Listen,
there, but he's easy to reach.
Listen, I'm not hard to find. It's
He's
just
not hard to
apply with
find.
Lloyd.com. My phone number has been the same for over 20 years. So if you need to reach out, call, text, yeah, I'm here to help. Let's see what we can do for you.
Apply. You should apply with Lloyd.com.
Apply with Lloyd.com.
Okay. All right. Um. Yeah. So yeah. Nah. Definitely appreciate you doing this. I've been tell him the truth, Lloyd. I've been fighting you for 2 years. The
Two years, man. I'm here now. I'm here.
Nah, man. Definitely appreciate you hanging out.
Nah, man. Thank you for having me.
We got to do it again. I think we're gonna work on something big for y'all in the future. So you're gonna want to stay connected. Once again, join the hub. That's our Facebook group where we'll be issuing posting exclusive content in the hub. So if you're not gonna want to miss that. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel uh, and hit the notification icon so that every time we go live, you get those notifications. And to book a 30-minute consultation with me, I just put the link in the comments. That's my Calendly link. You can book a 30-minute consultation for free. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, if you're looking to, house swap, what I like to call house swap, you gotta, you need to sell your house in order to buy another one. Your house is, getting too small or it's too much space. The kids moved out, or you just want to cash in on this equity right now. Hit the link, book an appointment. We can talk about it and get you on the right path for sure. Lloyd, I told them last week when I was on with Lauren. I had Lauren on last week, and I said I have I have curated a team of real estate professionals. I love the fact that I'm
Yes.
using that word. I have curated a team. My
Yeah.
my team is solid out here, man. So
Absolutely.
you want access to my team, you got it, man. So just hit us up and we'll definitely love to help you out. Anything in closing, brother?
No, man, just thanks for having me. If anyone is interested in seeing what their options are, like you said, just reach out to me. I'm here. This is what I do full time. I've been doing this full time for the last 20 plus years. So,
Mm,
I just appreciate working with, people like you, Gerard, that's just as passionate as I am, probably even more passionate at times. But,
mm,
your dedication to your clients and everything, kind of shines through in your reputation. So, I really appreciate it, man. And
man.
thanks for having me.
I appreciate you, brother. So we're gonna get up out of here. Enjoy your Saturday. Go check out some open houses. Next week I'm gonna add in that segment, man. I had a segment where I would go through the open houses and send them to the open houses. Go see some houses.
Hmm.
And get yourself acclimated to what's going on out in this market. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. All right. Don't P.S. Don't forget to check out Shine Academy. Shout out to my boy Amir Glenn and his wife Yvette. Just launched a totally free financial literacy program called Shine Academy. I'll put that information in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. You ready to build a strong financial foundation? I help a lot of people go from renters to homeowners, but I noticed something. A lot of people buy homes out of necessity and not out of intention. That's a huge difference. One is reactive and the other is design. That's why I'm excited to invite you to Shine Academy, a brand new, completely free financial literacy program created by my good friends Amir and Yvette through the Wealth Beacon Group Foundation. Starting March 11th, they're going to kick off with 12 transformative classes every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7:30. You'll learn everything from budgeting, credit repair, debt management, financial empowerment, and homeownership education. Whether you're dreaming of buying your first home, getting out of debt, or just taking control of your finances, Shine Academy gives you those tools, the knowledge, and the power to make it happen. This isn't just about finances, it's about freedom. The Wealth Beacon Group Foundation is transforming lives across Greater New Haven, helping families transition from homelessness to home ownership. They partner with ACT CT's Money School, to deliver programs that turn obstacles into opportunities and lay the groundwork for generational wealth. I'm sending my clients, and yes, I'm going too, because I'm always learning and always trying to level up. I want you to be there with me. Let's build a strong foundation, stronger communities, and a brighter future together. Spots are limited, so sign up now at www.wealthbeacon.org/Shine Academy. You in?